Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. I've just done 11 nights in Gran Canaria and I just wanted to go over obviously some things that a lot of neurotypical people may or may not notice. So the main one was I was in the baggage area and I didn't fully understand where I needed to actually go to for my baggage because of there was two flights for with the company I was flying with. Then there was flights for other companies as well, but the way it signposted the best, and I understand there was people stood there and it said like the flight company on them, but I didn't know if we were checking in for the wrong flight or if we were too early. So I went to go ask the security guard about the baggage, and before I even said anything to her, she said to me that I needed to check my baggage in, because she'd seen that, because I was coming up to where she was stood at like this gateway, and I said, "Oh, I know," and I said, "But I don't know which one I need to be at." So I thought that was quite bad, really. That before I've approached her, did she think I were going to take my suitcase up the stairs with me when there's signs everywhere saying that I can't do that? I don't know. It was a bit self-explanatory, but I was asking her for directions anyway. But that was the answer I got without even asking a question, because that's just what she presumed. I'm assuming to presume. Yes. So that was a bit of a thing. That, I mean, a lot of people, I suppose it had just been common knowledge, and they would have just gone out, seen it. Oh yeah, that's the one. We need to be over there. Let's make our way over there. But I didn't fully understand that, and I didn't know if I was going to be checking onto the wrong plane. My baggage was going to be on one plane, and I was going to get to my holiday with no baggage. Got there in the end though, so I got there, and then there was this self-service baggage weight thing. So on one of the screens it said about if you had any, I can't remember if it was like firearms or a couple of other things that you're not allowed or something in your suitcase or your hand luggage. I don't know which one it was. I'm assuming it was. I don't know. I don't know which one it was. But it said a thing on the screen, and it said about firearms and other things that aren't allowed. And because they'd worded it how they'd worded it, I pressed yes or no to the wrong way they worded it, and then I had to take my baggage, and then it wouldn't allow me to carry on with processing my baggage. So then I had to take it all off, cancel it all, and then I'll do it again. Bearing in mind all this is happening, I've got hundreds of people around me. I've got people like security people and armed police and different things, and they're all doing their job, but everyone's like eyeballing each other, and it's an uncomfortable situation. Plus it's really noisy, really loud. There's multiple languages being spoke. There's the sound of all the suitcase wheels, kids screaming and shouting. I mean, adults talking loudly. I mean, depending on how they are. Some of them were shouting and arguing as well. But anyway, so there's just a lot of like sensory things that I'm having to cope with whilst trying to process and do this thing that I'm doing that's new, that I don't have a clue what I'm particularly doing. It's just giving me options on the screen, and I've just got to make sure I pick the right one. But we got through that eventually. We went through it a second time and I did it all right, and then it got printed off with a sticker. But then the description on the screen of how to put the sticker on, because you had to put it through the thing, peel it back and then stick it together. It didn't show that on the computer screen, the monitor screen. It showed it like half peeled off to stick on, to then twist it round and then stick it back on. And I was like, how the hell does that work? But anyway, I got around it, just put it through, peeled it back and stuck it on, and yeah. But obviously I know how to do that. Other people that have, obviously autism is a massive spectrum, and maybe when I was younger and I didn't understand things as well as I do now, I'd have looked at that and I'd have just froze, thinking I don't know how to do this because that's telling me to do it like that, and I cannot do it like that. Just to highlight it. And so we did the baggage, walked around to the side, and then there was two entrances to get into security for your hand luggage before you actually get into the main airport section. And I asked the guy on the door, I said, is this the way in or the way out? And he said, oh no, there's two ways in. It doesn't matter which one you go in, you both go down the same way, it's just that this one's closer than that one over there. And I said, oh, that's great. So obviously, I've asked him a question, he's explained it to me reasonably well, pretty well, and I've got an answer from it without any jargon or any like strange facial expressions or strange body language. He just explained it to me, and I was like, oh, right, okay, right, and we'll go this way. Because sometimes people overcomplicate things with the facial expressions. I'm sure I'm doing it talking now, but some people have read the wrong facial expression or the wrong body language, and then it confuses me to what they're actually saying. So obviously, like sarcasms are everybody. Well, most people know if you have autism, sarcasm doesn't always go down too well because you can't. It's like a hidden. It's like you're saying this, but really you mean this, and it's confusing. I still struggle with sarcasm now, but moving forward. So the guy that's explained it to me, went forward, went to the security, and I emptied all my bags and my pockets, and everything went quite smoothly, because normally I always get pulled to one side and get patted down. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I look dodgy or if it's just because I'm really unlucky. But but this is the first time I think I've been abroad on a plane, obviously through an airport, and not being pulled to one side and patted down. So that was nice to not be felt up before I got on the flight. We went to an all-inclusive lounge, which was really nice because, which obviously you have to. I didn't even know that was a thing, but we paid for it, and it was like an all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink. So I'd had a couple of drinks, bit of food. It was really nice and chill. I was just sat on my phone. There was a socket right next to me to charge my phone. And then it came up for our flight, and we just gathered our things and walked over. We checked on the timetable thingy and walked over, and we got on the flight. And so you got onto the, no we didn't, we walked through the thingamajiggy, I don't even know what it's called. You walk straight off the airport lounge area where you look out onto the runway, and you go through like the tunnel thingy, and it takes you straight onto the front of the plane. So we did that, and found my number across the seat row number and everything, and I had a window seat, and I was very happy. And that's that. Sat down on the plane. It was 4 hours later. I think it was 4 hours, 15 minutes, 4.5 hours. Where was it? Gran Canaria. Gran Canaria. Another thing, I'm being told I've been pronouncing it wrong. I've been saying Gran Canaria, but I think it's Gran Canaria, but it just sounds easier to say Gran Canaria. Right, and that about wraps up arriving to the airport and all the things I've had to do and things I've had a couple of problems with, and how I struggled. I hope it helped. If it did, give it a thumbs up. If you've had problems yourself at an airport, or if you're a parent and you have children and you've had a problem at the airport, and whether you had a sunflower lanyard on or not, let me know in the comments below. That'd be really helpful. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon, guys.